My name is Andrew Rott, and I will be reviewing the West Fargo Public Schools Algebra 1 curriculum. For the sake of this assignment, I'm going to take a look at our Unit 12 on probability specifically. There's a couple reasons why I chose this unit. First of all, I feel like it's a very engaging unit. Students have a lot of fun dealing with probabilities. Secondly, this is the last unit in our Algebra 1 year, so there is time to still adjust if needed. And then lastly, we actually wrote our entire Algebra 1 curriculum from day one to the end of the year. Um, so we have that opportunity to make adjustments as needed. It's very flexible, and just want to take advantage of that. So first of all, you can see right here, I'm not sure what happened to the title of the unit here, but this is a unit on probability. Here's our organizing center right here at the top. It's got all the main things, the big idea, the essential questions, something we call enduring understandings. It's all there. But if you read these essential questions, you'll see it's kind of dry. Not very thought-provoking, not very open-ended. It's just kind of, they're just there. Um, and like I said, it's a very engaging unit, but even when I read this, I'm not too excited about probability. So, could use a little update there. Um, Looking at the alignment to the standards, if you take a look down here, here's all the standards. CP1, so we're in the statistics, conditional probability. There are 9 standards here, and if you take a look at the North Dakota Mathematics Standards, they also have 9. So they're all there, and I feel like that is the strongest part of this curriculum. Our alignment to the standards and their placement and emphasis. I feel like we really succeeded in meeting those needs. There you can see some learning targets, some tasks that we'll be doing throughout this unit. Um, yeah, this is where most of the time was spent when we did all of our units, I would say, is making sure that they're aligned to the standards, making sure that we covered everything that we needed. Um, so far everything looks okay. When I start diving into the assessment portion of this unit, you can see right down here, common assessments, it just says end of the unit assessment, but we do have, I felt like we had a very good variety of assignments before I started diving into this a little further. We have bell ringers that we do almost every day. We have 2 quizzes and 1 test. Unfortunately, these all pretty much fall under summative assessments. Um, for their purpose, these would all be information recall as far as the purpose of them. So even though I thought we had a good variety, we really don't. We're really missing some process assessments, some demonstrations. We don't do a beginning of the unit diagnostic. Here we had attempted at one point, and then we really didn't get kind of the feedback we were looking for, so we're currently revamping that, but it's not written into the curriculum as we speak. We do have one opportunity for product assessment. There's an activity kind of at the end of the unit to wrap things up in which students are put into groups and asked to create a probability scenario. They come up with that, they present it to the class gets the opportunity to answer their or answer their question or use their scenario and just kind of dive into that probability a little more. We do have a rubric for that. Unfortunately, I cannot find it right now. But that leads me to the next point here. We really, if you look at consideration 5, we have tasks included in this unit that are embedded in the curriculum, produce and measure learning. I think that's something that we did very well. Um, Strongly aligned to the standards again, but no diagnostics. Nothing really as far as formal assessments go to really just kind of gauge understanding. It's kind of what we use bell ringers for, but they are graded, and we use those to adjust instruction. But it's more of a summative thing from previous lessons. As far as rubrics and checklists go, like I mentioned, just that one activity we do at the end. Students do get a rubric, They get to take a look at kind of how they're going to be graded on that activity. And yeah, that's about it as far as that goes. So kind of struggle in that department. Really need to take a look at the assessments and try to work some formal assessments in. Um, as far as instruction goes, lots of learning experiences that talk about what students are going to do. But you can take a look here, over here on the right side, talks about what students are going to do, but nothing that really explains why. Up here, the every enduring understandings kind of talks about why we are talking about probability in general, but nothing specifically as to why we are calculating probabilities of the intersection of two events, or why we are using the general multiplication rule. Nothing really that says why. And I hear it every day as a math teacher. Why do we do this? Why do we do that? And sometimes it's hard to give an answer, and I get that. But I feel like if we can find a way to write it into our curriculum, it might be easier to answer those questions. It might be easier for students to see. Uh, as far as resources go, this is really the main resource we have. Um, I'm not sure if I have it up here, but we have all the lessons written up, all the worksheets, all the assessments. We sat down and did all of that. There's no textbook. The closest textbook, would be this guy right here, the classic Algebra 1 from McDougall-Littell. It's kind of where we pulled some of the ideas from, but it doesn't follow the book at all. It bounces around, and you can see right here, um, available resources. If you want more help with section 1 on just finding probabilities, you can go to that book right here. You can go to that book and you can find section 11.7 or 12.1 and get some additional help, some more examples if needed. But students aren't handed a book. Teachers don't use a book. It's all written out for us. I'll jump back. Can't get back there. Okay. As far as technology goes, we like to use graphing calculators, online probability simulators if possible. We take advantage of ActiveBoard technologies, get students up and moving around and involved in that. Soon, we are going one-to-one, hopefully by the start of next school year. And then we will be able to take this entire curriculum and put it online. And then we wouldn't have to worry about papers and stuff like that. It'll all be available to students. As of right now, I don't believe students or parents have access to this curriculum right up here, these plans for each unit, but hopefully that'll be readily available. We use a platform called Schoology where I put up all my notes and worksheets and stuff, so it is online there. But because we're not one-to-one, everything's still done on paper yet. Students just utilize that if they get stuck at home, or if they forget a worksheet, lose a worksheet, they can print it off, stuff like that. Let's see. I feel like our curriculum has been pretty successful. Excuse me. I feel like our curriculum has been successful. It's very organized. That's between that and our standards, the strongest part of this curriculum. Very organized. You can see each unit right at the top, says how many days it should take, and then we got this course outline that kind of tells you, why it takes that many days. 1 day for review, 1 day for assessment, and then we have this 2 days on this, 3 days on that. So it's very organized. It's fully developed. We got a list of supporting materials at the end of each unit here, if there is a need for that. The problem with this is because we wrote it ourselves, there is no professional development, nothing at all. We have no real support. The only support we have is just each other, ask each other questions. When new teachers come in, they just kind of get a flash drive and say, here you go, here's all of our Algebra 1 materials. Read through it, let us know if you need any help. Oh, and that's kind of a downfall currently. That's one of those things that if we feel like this is a strong enough curriculum to continue on with for many more years to come, that we probably would have to find a way to incorporate. In all, I feel like this is a curriculum of fair quality. I first thought it was going to be strong, but after looking back, it kind of lacks variety in assessments. Um, the organizing center is kind of dry, not very engaging, not very exciting. Um, it does need support. I feel like so we have a ways to go. Hopefully, we can take a look here now before the end of the year and make the necessary adjustments.